Hey, Chef Wayne with Finger Licking Podcast here with my special guest, Chef Phil Cameron.
What's up?
So today we're going to talk about a few things, a little sneak peek for Phil here. He has no idea what's going to happen, so it's going to be a little fun. And we're just going to start off real easy. Phil, you want to introduce yourself to the crowd here?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Phil. I go by Chef Phil Cameron. I have a catering company. I'd go to people's homes and I give them a culinary experience, 3 to 6 course meals in the comfort of your home. I bring everything you need, plates, cutlery, glasses, and I just you just sit back, relax. I cook, I clean, and I serve. If it's larger groups, I bring servers, and that's essentially what we do. We also do intimate weddings and canapé services, but we're just enjoying life and enjoying the passion that is cooking.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for having me, by the way.
Hey, anytime, man. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. So today we guys, it's all new. It's all fresh. This is my first time having a guest, so we're going to have fun here. Phil, let's tell these people how we got to know each other way back. I think I know each other now for what, a good 15 years?
Yeah, it's been quite some time. I mean, I guess we first met at Garneau. I don't know if we knew each other that well at Garneau, right? I mean,
no, I think we were. I think we knew who we were, but we kind of stayed on our own sides. You were more on the basketball side, I think, and I was more on the less good of the school, let's say.
Hey, I mean, it's funny when people bring back my basketball years, because honestly, there's not a lot of people anymore that see me that way anymore, but yeah, I guess from there I graduated first, and then you graduated a bit later, and we met back up in college, and we were sharing the same passion for cooking.
There it is.
And we had the same teachers and some of the same classes, so it was really cool to be able to share that experience. And I think up to now we still have some of the most influential people in our careers have been some of the same teachers, right? I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. So, what a ride! It's been a while.
It's been crazy, my friend. It's been crazy. That's true to say that. Not a lot of people know you play basketball. You want to talk a little bit about that real quick?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So I know deep down from doing my research and knowing you as a buddy that I think that was your career choice, right?
Yeah. That was tough. My first love in life was actually basketball. I invested hours and hours and hours, getting up early in the morning, going to play basketball at the court, to workouts at lunch, and to sometimes playing on 2 different teams at nighttime. It was a real grind, and it was everything I loved was on the court with that basketball and my teams. So it was great. We had looks at going to play in the States for a little while. Unfortunately, life happened, and I got some pretty bad knee injuries, which set me back, and I had to take a decision pretty quick on if I was going to rehab and continue the career, or am I stepping back and trying to reassess and find something new. And we know where that went. I guess the story continues in a different direction, but it was just really hard to get over that hump and to accept that basketball was not going to be the career anymore. When you pour in so many hours, it's
it must be life-changing, eh?
Absolutely. From one day to another, you honestly you thought you had it figured out, but the next day you wake up and you're like, man, I really need to figure out what I'm gonna do, for the rest of my life.
Definitely.
Or somewhat like that. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And can we say that you're still following some basketball on a daily basis here in the seasons? Do you have a team in preference here?
Yeah, I mean, my one and only love, the Toronto Raptors. Shout out to the Raptors.
Real shout out to the Raptors.
Yeah. No, the Raptors are the team. I don't really watch any other team. I don't feel the need to see any other teams. That's that's my day one, and that's the way it's gonna be. I don't have much time to watch basketball anymore, but
I understand, my friend. I understand.
It's near my heart.
I love it. I love it.
Do you watch ball?
My friend, you're catching me off guard here. I'm definitely a football watcher.
Okay.
Football watcher. I don't mind putting a little few dimes on some basketball once in a while because I know my Raptors always pay me out real good. But on a daily basis, I'm definitely not a basketball watcher. I'm on the grind like you, man, cooking in the kitchen. And then, with my little man at home, I don't really have time to always do sports. So
Yeah.
I'm more of a UFC and martial arts kind of guy. Yeah. I was just gonna ask if you're actually doing anything right now there. If you have any events coming up or see you in action.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I actually have a gig coming up on March 9th. It'll be at Stray Dog, which is a local brewing company here in Orleans, and they've been great to me, and I'm trying to be as great to them.
That's awesome.
We're almost sold out, and I know there's other events coming up, but we just got to finalize a few things before we get there. Yeah.
Perfect. And is there any way we can get some sneak peeks when some events come on, and we can drop it on the Finger Licking podcast here?
Yeah, of course.
There we go, guys. You got it here first on Finger Licking podcast. We're gonna get some sneak peeks on Chef Phil Cameron's events. So keep up posted, get a follow, hit a like, and then you guys are gonna know first where the events are going to be with Chef Phil Cameron. And you don't want to miss it, I promise you. I went to cooking school with this guy. I've eaten his food, and it's good. This guy makes some good food. So, Phil, I know you have your own business. I see you have your own little jacket here.
Right here.
Chef Phil Cameron. Tell us about your business. Where did it start? How did it start?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're really taking me back this morning. So where did it start? As a young teenager, I've always wanted to have a business. So I guess the curiosity in owning my own business, having my own freedom, having my own time, I'm managing my own time, putting a worth on my own self compared to having an employer put worth on myself. So what I mean by that is basically giving me an hourly rate that I think I deserve compared to someone else letting someone else do that for me.
Right.
So from an early age, I knew I wanted to own a business, but I didn't know what it was going to be. Of course, going back to the basketball thing, I thought it might be in basketball, but what happened is when I went to school, that all shifted. I really loved cooking, and I said, you know what? I want to start a cooking business. So on my second year, I really started making a plan. I started developing the plan and talking to teachers and asking them, hey, do you think this would work? What's the recipe to a good function? To let's say a wedding or to any event really? How do I limit the food waste? Because that was something that was always on my mind. Fast forward, I worked at different places like the Vanity Room, Parliamentary Restaurant. I worked at Chateau Laurier, and I saw a lot of food waste, and it just really broke my heart. So, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be a hypocrite to my own beliefs. So I decided early on that whatever business I have, I'm going to avoid food waste. Anyways, to get back to the topic, essentially what happened is that I started working at the German embassy, and people really noticed me then. I just joined Team Canada as an apprentice, and I was making a bit of noise. People were asking me, hey, would you do an event for us? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So it kind of started slowly like that, gradually on the weekends when I wasn't working at the embassy. And then when COVID happened, there was a real need for at-home chefs. And I'd already purchased a lot of the equipment that I needed. So that's kind of the story. And of course, there's a lot of passion involved in the background and all that. But that's the story, more or less, yeah.
Nice, that's beautiful. And for your business, do you guys do, how big do you do your events?
It all depends. I mean, So there's 3 different segments, as I explained. There's the culinary experience in the comfort of your home. That I go from roughly 6 to 25 people. Anything more than that, I find I can't give the same level of culinary experience. I have to kind of dumb it down so that it's more feasible. It's more doable with the people I need.
Right.
But under 25, you can make really intricate plates and with a lot of details. And then the wedding and the canapé services, I go up to 100. I won't go over 100. It's just something as of right now. I've set myself a limit. Maybe in the future it'll be more. And there's a lot of plans and a lot of stuff going on in the background right now. But we'll see. One step at a time, and we're just enjoying life. It's a blessing to do what you love doing every single day.
That's beautiful, Phil. Again, amazing to have you on here.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, this is a blessing to have Chef Phil here. I've known him for quite some time. If you guys don't know Phil yet, just if you guys don't know, he's a 2-time Face Magazine winner, Chef of the Year. I don't know how he didn't win this year because, I don't know, everything runs in threes, but I guess we're going to get it next year with Phil. Hey, guys, the big question everybody has, probably, Phil, did you ever think of leaving this industry?
Yeah, that's a question that is hard for me to answer. Early on, as I was mentioning, my goal was to buy a house, and I was doing everything possible to do that, and I got a bit of kickback because I was focusing on more making money in jobs that I knew I could make more money than to take jobs that I'm entering at a minimum wage position. So for a little while, in my absolute intensity and craziness of 21, 22-year-old, I decided that I was working at certain points in the year, because you have to understand there's, Christmas time, there's a lot more work, and, then you have January, February where there's no work. And in the summertime, absolute insanity. So you have to understand, to be entering the industry, to have full-time hours all year around, sometimes you have to have 2-3 jobs, sometimes 4. So I came to points where I hit some lows with, and I thought of quitting, and I didn't, and I'm so happy I didn't. But working 100 hours at Christmas time, or 100-hour weeks during the summer, where you're basically just coming home to sleep for 4 hours and then hopping back on the bus in the morning to go back to work, working 2 8-hour shifts, as crazy as that sounds, that was the reality on many days. And then on the days off, you're so burnt that you're just sleeping most of the day and just trying to catch up on laundry and groceries and all that. So yeah, there was times where I thought of quitting, but I'm happy I didn't, because it's so weird. You always quit things 2-3 feet away from your objective, from your next objective. So I tell people, if you have a passion, follow it relentlessly, and don't get distracted. Is 2 feet away from gold and you quit. So for example, during that period of time, I was thinking of changing industries. I'm happy I didn't, because then I got a full-time position at the Parliament, at the Parliamentary Restaurant, and I met some incredible people that I'm so grateful up to this day to have met and to work with. And from that came another relentless task where I wanted to compete, and I just asked the chef day and day and day and day, every single day I'd see him, "Hey chef, do you have a competition I could register?" And I'm sure I was so annoying. But eventually my sous chef, he gave me a shot, and that led to me being on Culinary Team Canada as an apprentice, and just really expanding from there. And you thought you knew a lot, and then you get to Germany where the competition was, and you see how much you don't know and how much you have to learn, and it's truly inspiring. But if you quit just before your objective, before your goal, you're gonna miss out on so much. So again, when life is trying to make you quit, push a bit further, guys. You won't regret it. Oftentimes you're so close to your objective, and you get there and you're like, man, I'm so happy I didn't quit. Like, blessed. Yeah.
That's amazing, guys. You hear it first, man. And that's a great thing to hear, and it's a great thing to listen to, guys. Honestly, right before your finish line, it's always going to be one of the toughest parts. You know, think about your colds. Think about when you're sick. You know, it's always harder before you're better. So it's the same thing in life. Everything is always harder before it's easier, and that's always going to be the case in life, right? So that's a great point, and that's a great tip to share to everybody out there. Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's always going to be some rain before there is some sun. You know, you can't have high highs if you don't have the low lows. That's just the way it is. And if you want to be in this industry, you got to be ready for it.
And I think it's not just in the industry, but I think it's everywhere in life, right? It's a tough thing, right? People in every industry, in every world, just, you know, stay bright, stay happy, guys, because you got this, man. And ladies out there, just don't give up. You guys got this, and everybody out there, you know, each and every one out there is special in a unique way, and everybody has their own talents, their own skills, their own little something to bring to the table. So when you feel like you don't have what others have, that's because you might have something else that they don't. So, you know, don't give up. Just practice, and accept who you are for what you are. And that's what's going to make you better, guys. So don't give up. Have fun. And Phil, anything to add to that?
No, you've pretty much dropped the wisdom there. I mean, just keep pushing.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, if it's not about cooking, just keep pushing. No one that has been successful hasn't had challenges along the way. Many have faced massive amounts of adversity. I know I mentioned David Goggins earlier, and if you want to see a life of struggle, but just such a champion's mindset and such a winner's outcome, read that book. You know, Never Finished is his second book, but Can't Hurt Me is his first. You want to be mind blown by someone that has overcome the odds, all the things stacked up against him, and he still fought through every little thing. Truly inspiring. Shout out to David Goggins, of course.
Respectable. That's amazing, guys. Thank you very much, Phil. The knowledge and wisdom that you've shared today is something remarkable and very appreciated from all of us here, either watching or for me here on the podcast with you. You know what? I'm always here to listen and have a good time. So anytime you want to come back, we're here. And you know what? Maybe one day we'll have a live and see what people have to say, and we can answer questions directly to them.
Hey, what's up? This is Chef Phil Cameron on Finger Licking Podcast.
Guys, keep it up. Phil, we have a few more questions for you, but do you want to take a quick break and we'll be right back?
Yeah,
Hey, guys, back here on the podcast with Chef Phil Cameron. Phil, say what's up to the guys here.
What's up? It's Chef Phil Cameron. How you doing?
Hey. So, guys, we have a few last questions for Phil here. We're gonna catch him on the spot here. I think we're gonna go pretty deep on some questions here. These are things that I know that affected both of us in our career. These are things that I know affect most of the people in this generation, or most people that have been through this industry. It's really unfortunate. Quite frankly, I think we've been through a few things that affected our lives through the years. I don't know. Let's get some deep answers here, my friend.
Let's do it.
Anyways, let's get some softer ones going here. I know you mentioned paychecks, and this is why you have your own business, and this is why you feel that running for yourself and having your own rate is a little more justifiable and more fair for yourself. And I truly believe that's a fair answer. Do you want to let the guys know here and then let everybody know your thoughts on that and why you think that the industry is lacking on a fair wage for everybody working out here?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just want to touch on one point. I am the chef president of the Culinary Federation here in Ottawa, so I do a lot of work to try to figure out a way to give back to the community, and I'm talking about the chef community, because I think that we need a voice. We need to have more of a say in what's going on around us. We saw that during COVID. that was a rough time for a lot of us. So I guess the answer to that is pretty simple. I mean, you get into the industry and you're offered minimum wage, and you're told that that's what's going to be for the next 5-10 years, and you're just kind of scratching your head like, am I worth more than that? Am I like, and yes, I'll be very honest that when you enter the industry, you have to go get the knowledge. So if you can go and position yourself in a well-known establishment and work with a chef that has all of his accreditations and all the tricks that you want to learn, position yourself, take a bit of a pay cut, because knowledge is much more valuable than money, and that's kind of where you start off, and that's fine. Now, where it kind of starts getting tricky is when you've worked there for a year, or if you work there for a few months and you know the system and you know what you have to do, and you're doing a good job. And again, there's a lot of people that don't do a good job, so I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people that are really grinding and really working hard. So I think that it's almost necessary that the employer looks at you as an asset and says, hey, if I lose this guy, I have to retrain someone, and it's going to cost me more money because we have less production. So reflecting towards what happened during the pandemic, a lot of employers said, hey, I don't have any employees. Well, of course, you laid everyone off. You treated them like crap. But at the end of the day, the real winners, the people that still had the good staff, still had their great teams at the end, were the employers that paid them, helped them, respected them. And it just goes to show a bit of humanity towards your employees goes a long way. And that's why I say, it's okay to take a pay cut for a little while, but at some point you have to make sure that you're getting what you're worth. It takes a while to learn that, but I think, again, through what I'm trying to do with the Culinary Federation, that's where we're going to uplift people and make sure that they know their worth and know what they can ask for later down the road.
Guys, we're also going to get Phil to give us that link for the Culinary Federation here. We're going to add it on to the podcast here. We're going to put it onto our links. Give it a good look. Follow, look at it, and follow Phil here. He's doing great things for the community here. He's helping us out, and he's the reason why most of us should stay in the industry here. He's trying to help us build a better industry. So give it a follow. Go look at the Federation, and you guys are going to be surprised. There's some great things out there, and maybe they'll help you. Phil, thank you again. That's some great knowledge for us. I personally should follow this. I'll be going to the next meeting with you,
I'm happy to do it.
I'm excited to see this. So thank you very much for the knowledge. Phil, you touched on a few points there, and guys, always know your worth. When you feel you're underpaid and overworked, reach out to people. Don't just stay in a corner and wait, because quite honestly, if I ask Phil here, how many of us out of our 25 in the group, Phil, you want to answer them? How many of us actually cook nowadays?
Like the people that we went to school with?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think you and I are the only ones left, more or less. I think maybe there's one or two other people, but there's really not many people from our graduating class that are still left in the industry. Like, some of them I think are still linked to the industry, like they're selling knives or they're selling kitchen equipment, but are they physically in a kitchen and cooking? No, like there's a small percentage that really last in the industry.
Yeah. And I remember going to school and the teacher had telling us the same thing. I think there was only 2-3 of them the year before and 2-3 the year before that. It's a very tough industry and it's very unfortunate. At the end of the day, everybody wants to go and eat, right? I think everybody loves food. I think the one good thing of COVID, a lot of people have learned how to cook at home. But I think now that we're reaching out of COVID, I think people are still looking forward to going out and eating and enjoying the get-togethers. And I think it shows in your business with your business, right, Phil?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's food is life, man. Everyone needs to eat. So at the end of the day, if you enjoy food, and that's why we're cooking, you know.
Yes. Phil, if there was one quote you would want to share with the group here, what would be your one quote that you live by and that you want to share to the world?
Man, that's really putting me on the spot on this one.
That's great. That's what we want here on Finger Licking Podcast. We want some raw footage, some live footage, and you get it here first.
There's so many good quotes. I personally read a lot. I'm trying to think of one. I usually use different quotes for different situations. I really like the speech, one of the last speeches that Steve Jobs gave. There's a man that's named Jim Rohn. He also talks about the set of your sail. Everyone has a destination, but it depends on where you set your sail. And he also says a quote that I really like, that is, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And it's not intended to be in any way taken the wrong way. It's more in a sense where, sometimes we wish things were easier because we don't have the skill required to do what is asked of us. So don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Go get that knowledge, go get everything you need to get there, and then it will be easier because you have the knowledge to get there, but you will be better. So, and that's something that you can really live by and own up, because at the end of the day, you decide everything. You decide, you don't get to decide everything that's going on around you, but you do get to decide how you react to what is going on around you. And that's something that is very important to know, especially in this day and age. There's a somewhat of a lack of accountability in many fronts of our society, and that's something that we need to address moving forward.
That's beautiful, Phil. Thank you, man. We're getting you guys some raw footage here on Finger Licking Podcast here. Phil, what's one of the toughest things in the industry? There's a lot of people that talk about the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, overworked hours, low pay wages that we've already mentioned. But what do you think really affects a lot of us, and what do you think is one thing that is really unfortunate?
Man, there's a lot I could say there. I think the toughest one for me, I was blessed. I never went through any drug addiction or alcohol addiction or anything like that. I really stayed clear of that scene while I was younger and learning, because I knew that I had to get up the next day and work my second job, because I had other goals, and I knew that financially I had to set myself up in a way where I could live my dream, even though if the first few years didn't pay that much, I could still do it. But I guess the answer to that is really missing out on life. For so many years, when you start in the industry, you don't see your family because you're working on the weekends. You don't get your Christmas off. You don't get Easter off. You don't all the special celebrations that you have in life are consumed by being in the kitchen, because other people are celebrating those moments with their loved ones, which is fine. I mean, it's a trade-off.
Would you say the deep root of that, my friend, is kind of a lack of respect to the employees, or people a lack of respect to the kitchens, and people not appreciating what we do and the sacrifices we take, and it affects us at the end of the day, or a lack of a little bit of depression and a lack of our families, a miss of our families.
I think you touch upon all the things that you could potentially go through with this scenario here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a lack of respect, because I mean, from business to business, it's your boss is going to be different and going to have a different mentality, and that's fine, as long as they respect you and respect, you know, the ups and downs of your own personal life. You know, we're all humans. We're not robots. I mean, we're not expected not to have any feelings in those special days. I think that we should get paid a bit better during Christmas time, or yeah, absolutely. You know, and those special days should definitely be, if they're racking in the money. Yeah. Why are we not getting a bit more? It just naturally makes sense in my mind.
A sense of reward, right? A sense of I don't know, appreciation.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, things are changing though. Like I'm happy to say things are really changing. There's different options for employees now.
Yes.
The pandemic has really forced the employers to change their minds and their ways on this. So
definitely. And guys, again, follow the Federation. If you guys have any question, reach out to Phil personally. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if you guys just need somebody to talk, again, here at Finger Licking Podcast, we're always here to talk, and we're always here to help out. So never feel alone. If you guys need somebody to talk to, you think times is tough, reach out to us, please.
Yeah.
We're here to help out, honestly. I don't want to leave anybody alone. I've personally went through rough times working in kitchens and missing my family. I'm sure Chef Phil here has done the same thing, and a lot of us that we know personally have done it. So it's not easy, it's not tough. We can laugh about it now because we've both made decisions to leave that behind. But we still do work on days that are difficult for us, and you know, we have to make sacrifices for the choices we make. There's something I always say. Cooking is not a job, it's a passion. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the simplest way of putting it. I don't think that if you don't love cooking, if you don't love making great food, I don't think you'll survive in this industry. There's a lot going on around us. Every single day is a new challenge. Every single day is a new customer. And if you're not able to take the heat, as they say, you gotta get out of the kitchen. And I'm saying that politely, of course, but
of course, all jokes are intended, guys.
Yeah,
all jokes are intended. Nothing is here to hurt anybody. We're here to have a good time here on Finger Licking Podcast here.
yeah. So,
but Phil, is there something you want to say to the crowd here before we sign out or before we do anything?
Oh man, I could talk for hours. You know, when you're with a good buddy, it's easy to have a normal conversation.
Definitely.
I'd like to, because I feel like there's certain instances in this podcast that we're not actually talking about cooking for a second, and I want to touch upon that. In life, I think many people have decisions to make. A lot of people, they don't realize what it is to learn and how valuable it is to learn certain skills. A lot of people look at me and say, why do you volunteer so much? Why do you know, I'm involved in so many different things, you know, teaching at the food service training program at the Ottawa Mission, you know, kids that are, or young adults that are trying to reestablish themselves in our society. The food for thought, at the beginning of the pandemic, we were getting all the food from the restaurants that were suddenly closing from one day to the other, and making food for people that had food insecurities, and we're super proud. It's still running to this day.
I was gonna ask you, is Food for Thought still running here? Is it still up and strong?
Yeah, I mean, it's going through a transition period right now due to different government subsidies, because during the pandemic there was a lot more funds for these types of associations, the nonprofit organizations. And right now, those subsidies have been canceled. So it's a bit of a tricky situation they're in right now, without giving out too much. But no, all the help is well appreciated there. All the donations is well appreciated there.
And is there a way that the public here can reach out and give a donation, either monetary donation or food donation to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go online and you look up Food for Thought Café or Matière à Réflexion en français, yeah, that's the best way. Go on their website. There's a way to donate, and as well, if you're trying to volunteer your time, nothing complicated, guys. Just chopping some carrots, peeling some carrots, chopping onions, whatever it may be. All the little things help this organization. You don't have to be a chef to help. A lot of people are intimidated. Even if you're a young chef or a young cook in this industry and you want to learn and be better at your knife skills. Knife skills are essential. You cannot be a chef, and I cannot stress this more. You can't be a cook, you can't be skilled in this industry if you can't hold and cut. Basic knife skills are so important. So if you're looking to improve your knife skills, this is always a great opportunity, because you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours straight, peeling, cutting, whatever it may be, and you might think to yourself, hey, you know, this is not giving me much. But like I said, everything you do volunteer-wise helps a lot. I've learned tremendous amounts. I actually just came back from Spain, working at a restaurant over there where I was basically volunteering. We call it a stage in better terms. Yep. But I learned so much from them, and that's because I put myself out there, and I'm not expecting anything from them but to work with their amazing teams. And that's the beauty of our industry, is there's so many loving chefs out there and so many good people that just love what we do.
Knowledge is power, right, my friend?
100%.
Knowledge is power. And I think we both can't stress it enough, being in the industry. Yeah, knife skills, knowledge is power. There's a lot of things, basic things, that build your base. And if you have a strong base, you'll be able to have a great future ahead of you. And everything else after that will be a lot easier and fall into place. So just take your time to learn your base properly, and always improve. I think still to this day, I'm still learning. Phil, you're still learning, I'm sure.
If any chef tells you that they know everything, they're a liar. I'm telling you, they're a big liar. No, you can't know everything in this industry. There's just too much to know. So just keep learning and become a specialist in something, you know. And then from there you can either grow a niche market or just generally become better at what you do. And I know I've seen you do that, so it's good to see. I love seeing all the people I've come up with, and all the people I've taught at La Cité or Algonquin or the Ottawa Mission. I love seeing them in the industry. It's really a great feeling, and it's great to see their progress and see where they were when I was teaching them and where they are now. It's a blessing. Yeah.
So yeah, Phil, here we're gonna ask you a good question here. I know the answer, but a few people here are probably curious to know here why you're saying you taught at La Cité Algonquin here. Let's go back about 2 years, a year and a half. I don't think you were in Canada at the time, right?
No, I was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start off over there.
Yeah.
Where were you at, and who were you representing, and what were you doing?
So I was blessed with an incredible journey that was cooking in Dubai.
Nice.
And Dubai will always have a special place in my heart. It was for the World Expos, the 2020 World Expos. Now, we know that what happened in 2020. So, of course, the World Expos didn't happen in 2020. They actually happened in 2021 and 2022. But yeah, no, it was really incredible. 190 countries, 190 representatives of different countries in one spot. Truly incredible to be able to speak to so many people, so many chefs from across the world, some celebrity chefs, being able to do wine tastings from Chile, from Lebanon, from so many different areas, doing banquets with Brazilian chefs, competing in competitions, winning a competition over there, judging competitions with some of the best chefs in Dubai, attending Gulf Foods. There's just, the list goes on, and being able to be on Dubai TV on an interview. It was truly a blessing. It opened my eyes onto the possibilities of what this industry truly is. And it kind of changed my goals. The script was rewritten from there on. So it's going to be interesting. The next few years, there's things coming, and I think it'll be very interesting.
So our next question was going to be, what's the plan for the next 2 to 5 years here, Phil?
Oh boy.
Or is there anything you want to spiel? I don't want to pull some.
No. I can definitely speak a bit generally about it. I don't want to give too many details. It's just not something I do when I don't have everything settled.
No, definitely, we respect that.
Yeah. So there's definitely some plans to work internationally again. As to where, I can't reveal that just yet. I still need to do a lot of work, and there's a lot of process that has to happen before getting there. But that is definitely in the plans. There is other stages coming up in the near future. One is coming up in April. We're going to Mexico, and I'll be working at a nice little place there. I'll give you the little secret here, because I can. It's a little restaurant. It's a restaurant that basically cooks everything on a fire, like a wood fire, and it's all Mexican food. So we're super excited about that. It's coming up very soon. But this is what I mean by being able to be my own boss and being able to go and experience these things. I don't think there's many people that would allow me to leave for a month and, go cook somewhere else just because I feel like it. What else is coming?
I was gonna say, weren't you just gone for a trip for a month there too? So
cooking in Barcelona, but it's the dead months, right? I mean,
definitely.
I work extremely hard during the summer, extremely hard during the winter time, or I should say Christmas time. And those 100-hour weeks kind of add up, and you want to have a little break and take care of your own mental health and your own health. It's important.
It's good to take care of yourselves, guys.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, just expanding my business.
Yeah.
Doing 2023 is going to be the year of the pop-ups for me. There's a lot of things going on, working with different chefs, working with different establishments, really putting a focus on local businesses, and just having fun with it. Nice. I know we don't have enough fun. Cooks and chefs have such large egos. It blows my mind sometimes, and I feel like that's why maybe we're not able to grow as a community, because we're constantly fighting, and maybe that's done on purpose by some of the owners and some of the establishments that already put in place. But that's why we're there with the Culinary Federation. We want to bring everyone back and put the power back into our hands and not into our employees or employers. So yeah, just a lot of pop-ups.
Nice.
We're gonna organize some competitions for the Culinary Federation. There's a national conference for the Culinary Federation in Niagara Falls this year. So that's coming up in June. It's amazing. Some fundraisers going on as well, and just really diving deeper into everything we do. It's just a continual journey, and just keep loving it.
I love it. What's your one word or one thing you would want to say for young chefs, young people, people are thinking of getting into this industry, people that are maybe still in this industry thinking of leaving, that need, I don't know, a little something to hear here?
There's a lot I could say there. I think the number one thing is that we're not on TV. This is not a TV show. The glamorized Hollywood TV stuff you see on your Netflix, on your streaming services or your cable is not real. It's yes, to a certain extent it's real because people are actually doing it, but when you enter the business, you're not gonna be there. There's many years of working hard and putting in the time to get there. So have a realistic mindset about going into this industry. Talk to as many chefs as you can. Get a realistic point of view, because this isn't easy. This is not what TV shows you, and there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into what we do, as you perfectly well know. Just get as accustomed to the industry. Maybe even go work at a small restaurant before you decide, hey, I'm going to dive into going to a college to learn this. Go dive into it and really try to get the information you need to make the right decision.
I love it. I know from a fact, working in the industry, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I started, I went to school and I was like, all right, this is going to be easy. We were 15 or 20 in the class, and we had one menu, 7 things, or 5 menu with a menu with 5 items, and you're looking at yourself, you're like, wow, this is easy. And honestly, it's not the reality of things. I've worked in a lot of kitchens. I've opened a few restaurants, kitchens. I've helped a lot of people do openings. Quite honestly, I love opening restaurants. It's actually a lot more pleasant and a lot more demanding, and it's one and done, and you're done, and you know that the people are going to take care of it properly, and you hope for it. And if they don't, you come back and help them. And I'm sure, Phil, you can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but at any time, correct me.
No.
But over the years, you don't realize. Over the years, you finally realize that it's not what it was, and it's not going to be as easy as it is. I've now worked in kitchens that I'm completely alone, serving more people than I ever did, or I should say ever did alone. And it's, you know what, you get to learn and you get to have the experience to do it. And people that want to just jump in and do it and think they can, it's a lot harder. And that's where a lot of people think that that's where a lot of people just quit, and they just decide, hey guys, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And the problem is that you guys didn't build a proper base.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And sometimes at school it seems a lot easier, but talk to your chefs. Become friends with your chefs at school. Don't take them as your enemies. Take them as your friends. And they're going to be great mentors. Still to this day, Phil, do you still talk to some of the chefs that we went to culinary school to?
Yeah, on a weekly with some of them. I mean, it's there's deep bonds there. I mean, with one of them, I went to Dubai, and I keep in contact with him pretty much on a weekly basis, just checking in and seeing what's going on. And there's just so many people that I will never be able to thank enough for my success in the industry, because like I said, this is a community. This is a living organism within our community, and if we don't prioritize the next generation, how can we expect there to be a next generation? How can we expect there to be good cooks and good food in Ottawa? So that's kind of where we're at right now with the industry. Is we've lost so many older chefs that said, you know what, I got a taste of what it is to go and be at home with my family and spend weekends with my family. And a lot of them quit because they were like, man, like I'm missing out on our short existence in life with my family, and this isn't worth it. So a lot of us left the industry, and good for them. I mean, take control of your life and do what is important to you. But that's where the next generation comes in. The older chefs also need to realize we have to educate these younger cooks and these younger chefs, so that when we're not in the restaurant or when we're not at our business, the business can still run properly. It's easy to point fingers at someone, but it's a lot better to look at the situation critically and say, hey, I need to help this individual get better so that the industry can get better as a whole. And stop thinking about me all the time. Think about us and think about the collective.
Yeah, I think it's better to say what could I have done better, or what could the team have done better, so that the situation could have been arranged. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in the industry, is that there's too many eyes. There's a few sayings that I've heard over the years in the kitchens, and people always, they return to being an eye in the team, and it's very unfortunate. If you think about it, generally, I think in cooks and chefs, dishwashers, servers, bartenders, we hold a big part of this world. And if we were all to leave tomorrow morning, I think there would be a big problem. I think a lot of you appreciate us, and there's a lot of you that don't appreciate us. And we're not going to start naming names, but I think it's just unfortunate that people don't realize and appreciate the work and the effort and the sacrifices that each chef has to do to be in the industry.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice.
This is going to be a little touchy, but this is what we do here on the podcast.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here on the podcast. That's why I got some good people here, people that I know that have deep stories just like I do. I know a lot of people that, that haven't done too well, that have, felt pretty lonely, pretty dark, and fell into some pretty dark places. There's some people that I care a lot for, a lot of people that, I can say that it's unfortunate that things have happened to them. And, Phil, I want to ask you, man, what do you think about the mental health state of a lot of people that work in the industry on a daily basis or a weekly basis, doing 100 hour every 2 weeks or 120 hours every 2 weeks, and just saying, hey, this is normal, I have no choice because there's no staff, and if I don't work, then there's no paycheck at home, and this, that, and feel the need to be in this, but they're digging their own self in a grave.
Yeah. That's a great question, close to my heart. I have many friends that have burnt out, that have fallen into very deep drug addictions or alcohol addictions, which is really sad. It's ruined families, it's ruined relationships, both personally and professionally. Maybe even ruined some openings in the industry. I try to stress this a lot. I try to tell people that, there's only one real thing that is important in life, and it's making sure that you stay healthy, both mentally and physically. If you don't run, nothing else runs in your life. And if you have a family, if you have loved ones, if you have friends, they want to see you healthy. They don't want to see you half asleep or destroyed because you're tired or your body's aching or your back's hurting or whatever it may be, man. We've all lived through some aches and pains, but I think the one that we don't talk enough about is the mental health. The mental health is something that we don't talk a lot, and I don't want to sit here and talk too much about it, but I think it's important that as a community we recognize the different issues going on with all that, and really, if someone needs to have a conversation, let's have a conversation, and let's talk. Like, that's why we're here. That's why we take the time to sit down and have these conversations and do all the meetings at the Culinary Federation. It's so important to make sure that your mental health is up there, and hand in hand with the mental health. And I've seen too many chefs lose control of their own personal physical well-being, and it goes hand in hand with the mental health. So I think a great advice is talk to people, express yourself, try to limit the amount of alcohol you drink at the end of your shift. I know it's tempting because it's a group setting and everyone's doing it, but limit that. Of course, You know, drugs can be a taboo subject, but at the end of the day, if you take care of your physical health, let's say you do 30 minutes of physical activity, it will really help long run with your physical health, but also with your mental health. I mean, it's crucial. Yeah, definitely.
There's one thing, you know, like I've been through some rough patches, you know, being in kitchens and deciding to work, you know, sacrifices that you do, things that you lose, and I'm sure Phil could say the same thing. We've all lost things for working for the industry, and that's something that needs to change. Quite honestly, we gotta start thinking about ourselves, because we're all gonna burn out. We're all gonna stop working. We're all gonna be too tired, and we're all gonna be mentally drained, and I think just hurt from the situation that we're living through and what we're going through every day.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be. Well, I'm glad with the Culinary Federation, but I think there should be more help for chefs, not just for mental health, but I just think there should be more help for the entire industry. There's a lot of people that just need somebody to talk to at the end of the day, right? And yeah, guys, like Phil said it right. It is easy to fall into, you know, having a drink with the group because everybody's just having a drink. But if at the end of the shift, if everybody's having a coffee or everybody's having just a pop, it's the being together and celebrating the hard work shift together. The alcohol, the drugs, the I don't know, whatever you guys are used to you know get off at the end of the night is not always necessary. Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier to just have a drink, have a pop, have a water, sit down with the crew and realize how much work and how much effort was put into that shift, how much you guys put your heart to each plate, and how much you guys cared for each guest that came in. There's one thing that I always told people, you know, I love eating, but personally, you know, I'm a skinny chef, right? And people say, well, don't trust a skinny chef. And I say, well, I cook for you and I don't cook for myself. So that's why I'm skinny and you're gaining the weight. And it's all jokes aside, but it's the truth, right? Us chefs most of us chefs that care for the industry are going to answer you the same thing. We cook for you guys, and we put our hearts on the plate, and we put our hearts on the hours every day. So, you know, guys, if you need help out there, just reach out. I'm sure Phil and I could both help you out and direct you in the right way to get some help, and we'd be more than welcome and more than happy to help you guys because we both went through a lot of things, a lot of losses, a lot of heartbreaks through the years, and we're here to help you guys, honestly. Mm. Yeah, Phil?
Yeah.
Is there anywhere that people could reach out to you if they want to reach out? Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, an email.
No. You got my socials with Facebook and Instagram, chef_Phil_ Cameron on both Facebook and Instagram. We've also got my email, Phil_Cameron@live.com. And you know, there's so many different ways to reach out to people nowadays.
Guys, we're gonna put the links on the description in the podcast, guys. So don't worry. All the links that we talked about today are gonna be there. Don't worry to try to follow and try to look at what we said and try to put it in their earweb and be like, oh my God, what is going on here? Don't worry about it, guys. We're not like that. We're professionals.
We got you.
We're professionals here. We do this stuff for a living. We please people. So we're still going to please you on the podcast. It doesn't matter if it's with food. It doesn't matter if it's talking about food or talking about the real stuff. We go through it every day. We're going to help you out, guys. Honestly, here on the podcast, we're here to just have fun, have a good chat. Phil, man, it's been a pleasure to have you here today.
100%.
It's been real. It's been real fun. There's a few things I want to still reach out, but, you know, I just want you to feel welcome here.
Yeah, of course.
I want to say thank you from my heart and from everybody watching the podcast today for being here. Guys, give a follow to Phil. Watch him out. Look at him on Instagram, Facebook. And again, reach out to him if you have anything. We're here to help you out. We're here to have fun. And you know what? Maybe if you guys want to, learn a little bit, maybe Phil's gonna teach you a little bit. I'm just saying. Over the years, and you guys, Phil was talking about food for thoughts earlier. And if you guys want to go help out, help the community out, just make it a date night. Make it a date night. Go with your girlfriend. Yeah. Learn how to cook. Learn how to chop a few veggies. It's gonna be fun. You guys are gonna have a little date, and I'm sure Phil can agree. It's for all ages. It's for all ages.
Yeah.
If your little one's already holding a knife and ready to hold a knife, go with the little one.
Yeah.
Make it a family event.
Yeah.
Just go and help the community. It's nothing big. It's nothing long. How many hours do they need to give on this file? Could they just go for an hour? They could go for 4 hours. How does it work here?
Yeah, it's really up to you. I mean, I would say try to go more than an hour, because by the time you set up and clean up, I mean, you've lost 30 minutes right there. So
definitely,
I'd say try to do at least minimum 2 hours. It's not that much. But yeah, no, just go as long as you feel comfortable. I usually do 4 to 6 hours weekly, but there's ups and downs. With Christmas time, there's no way I was doing that at Christmas time. There's just no way. So yeah, this is great. It's community driven. The president, CEO, everyone at the top are all volunteers. They're the hardest people I've ever met in my life, or some of, and they just they're retired. They're retired and they're working 60, 70 hour weeks. They work 7 days a week, some of them, just to make sure that a piece of our community that's often forgotten has food on their table at the end of the day or at the end of the week. Guys, just in Ottawa, there's something crazy, like 1 in 5 kids that don't eat breakfast every day. And it's heartbreaking. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I've eaten every meal pretty much every single day, and that's why I give back, because I think there's a forgotten piece of our community that doesn't have that same blessing and that same
luxury, right?
Luxury, you know. So it's so important, so important.
Definitely, we all have our own struggle, guys. You guys might be saying, "Oh, my mom's rough on me, whatever." But you have a roof on your head. You're eating food. You're watching this video tonight. Just be grateful.
Yeah.
Be grateful. Having a food on your table and food on your plate every day is a blessing. Some people don't. And let's help the community out. I think that's a great way to help the community. You can get the family out. It's a free event. You're helping the community at the same time, so it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
And it gets you out of the house on a weekend, on a snowy day like today. So guys, there's a lot of things to do in Ottawa. Phil, is there a lot of good events for the family? Kids allowed events that people can go with their kids, have their families there, and food oriented.
Yeah, that's another great question, kind of putting me on the spot again. I love it. No, I mean, Winterlude, you're going to have Cabane à Sucre coming soon, Sugar Shacks. For those that didn't understand my French there, Sugar Shacks are coming very, very, well, it's going to be end of March, early April is when usually the Sugar Shacks open, but looking at the temperature nowadays, that might be earlier. We don't know. We really don't know. But yeah, no, there's so many cool local spots you can go. There's the Musée au Parc that actually I just visited this week that is reopening their brand new Sugar Shack, and it's in Vanier. It's right in the core of almost downtown. Wow. How is it that I've never heard of this? I don't know. But it's amazing, guys. Check it out. That's definitely somewhere that I think in the near future there might be a little project going on there. We'll see. But yeah, no, the new chef there is someone that I know. I'm super proud of him and getting that position. It's just super exciting to just see where everyone's at right now. There's a lot of openings that were made through COVID, and it's just amazing to see all the growth. But again, you have to keep growing. just keep growing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is there's always growth to be done, right? Still to this day, and people that I'm sure you know that are retired are still learning every day.
Absolutely.
And when people tell you they're done learning or they've learned everything, guys, it's not true. It's not true. I still learn every day, and that's why I started doing a podcast so I can learn even more, right? Just fill your brain with knowledge and just have fun with it.
The day I always say this, the day that you stop learning is the day you died.
Exactly right. You got to keep your mind busy, your body busy, and I'm not saying overworked.
No.
Keep it busy with stuff you love doing. Do it the way you love doing it. Don't make it something that you're now hating doing. I've taken a break from cooking. There was a point where I was like, all right, I do not like doing this anymore. I do not want to work for minimum wage or low wage that I can't support my family, and I'm not seeing my family. I can't see my kids grow. It's just devastating, right? It's not worth the paycheck. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. You're not seeing your own blood grow. That's a lot harder than anything. So guys, just stay healthy mentally, physically, stay happy. And I think that's one of the most important things, and just be accepting that you're always going to learn.
Yeah. Life is short.
That's true.
Life is very short.
Hey guys, quick question for Phil here. We're both tall people, man. I'm in the 6 feet. Phil's in the, giants. He's a big guy, basketball player here. So you got to think about it. Both in the 6 feet. And kitchens are not made for us. Phil, how have you taken the struggle, or what have you done as adjustments to, make it more comfortable for you?
Yeah, that's definitely an issue, with lower backs, with your knees, with your ankles, when you're constantly crouched over and you develop certain postures that are definitely not good for you. So things I've done personally, used dish racks and put boards on top of them to be able to elevate my working surface. Other things I've done, not doing the splits, but just to lower my chest to the working area, I will kind of spread my legs out a bit more so that I get a bit lower. Right. Those are different things. Also, sometimes, I don't know about you, but there's times where I've woken up with a bit of a sore wrist. You're cutting X amount all day long. So, just trying to figure out ways to massage your forearms, massage whatever is hurting. Obviously, physiotherapists and massage therapists are a bit expensive for what we make. But that's, again, comes back to the point I was making earlier of making the money that you think you deserve and being able to take care of the body. Your body without your body, you're not cooking. So take care of yourself. It's so important. So important.
Definitely. There's a joke that I always used to tell people. Maybe I should just, go see a lawyer and put my hands, my hands are worth now $25,000, because guess what? If I lose my hands, I can't work. So, if I can't work for the rest of my life because I'm a chef, guess what? I can't do anything. If I don't have my, I don't know, something I can't stand for the rest of my life, I've now losing the ability to work in some kitchens, and some people won't let you work. There's a lot of disabilities which are unfortunate. And employers don't accept them as employees because of it. I've seen some great workers that have handicaps and from different sorts, from A to Z, that I think should be more in the industry and be paid a better wage and respected just like you and I. What's your thoughts on that, Phil?
Yeah, that hits close to home. Recently, one of my good friends showed up, and I didn't even recognize him due to what happened to him. Due to personal reasons, I'm not going to mention any names or what it is, but essentially he might never be able to work in the industry again. Which I then went back home and thought to myself, like, man, like if I wasn't able to cook, like I would be devastated. So. I mean, it's so important. I think there's things that individuals that get hurt in the industry, can potentially do. Of course, it all depends how big the restaurant or whoever you're working for, how big the organization is. But there's also a lot of ways for people to be included, even though they might be hurting at that point or not able to use their wrists or not able to walk. There's many ways for them to recover from that. But in the meantime, they can work on modified work. It's not always easy, but I know that the government also helps on some of those fronts, depending what it is, and if it's long-term or short-term. There's a lot of different things to take in consideration, but I think everyone should be able to hold a job if they want to. Productivity is so good for your mental health. It's so good to stay active and to use your brain day in and day out. If you don't, then you're just kind of vegging around, and it's not productive for our community, and it's not productive for your own well-being.
Hey Phil, man. Is there a few people here in the food industry community of Ottawa, Ontario, that you would suggest or you would say that are helping the most, or really in taking their time and putting their extra time and helping the community here?
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely had the opportunity to work with a few of them. Recently, Chef Joe Tungal from Coconut Lagoon and Tally Restaurant. What a local hero. The amount of stuff he's done for our community and just how much love he has for what he does. It's very inspiring. I think that's part of my persona, part of who I am now, was inspired by him and what he does day in and day out. He's literally everywhere. We were just talking about that. It's really crazy what he does. Who else? I mean, a good friend of mine, Yannick Cointal. Shout out to him. Always having my back, always, there to talk, and vice versa. Very proud of you, buddy, and where you're at now. I couldn't be happier for you. I mean, there's other names like that don't necessarily do as much as the people I've just mentioned, but personal mentors. While I was at Parliament, that there's a bunch of people. I could name Ryan. I could talk about Chef Simpson. I could talk. There's so many people. I don't want to miss anyone that or forget anyone there. There's my friend, chef friend at the Governor General Louis Charest does amazing work, and he has such a beautiful team over there. And of course, there's other people all around Canada, because the Culinary Federation, you have to understand, is nationally and internationally. So there's a lot of people I know in the east of Canada, the west of Canada, all the way to people in Toronto that are day in and day out are pouring their heart and soul into it. Just want to name one more name at Parliament, my friend Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. It's terrific. Like, I mean, we're a community. We need to be together and work together. And like I said, if I forgot you, my heart goes out to all the people, all the good people that I have the absolute honor to work with day in and day out and have and share this community with. It's a blessing. Yeah.
Definitely, my friend. I think we've all had some good mentors over the years. There's a few people that I'm very thankful to have in my entourage, as we say, yourself included, my friend. I think there's a few times that, if we didn't have the people that we do around us, things would be a lot tougher. And we got to be thankful, right? So thank you to everybody. Shout out to everyone. I'm not going to start naming names in case I miss any names, but you all know who you are. Thank you to each and every one of you for sticking, side by side with me, through good times, bad times, rough times, fun times, however you want to say it, right? We've all been there, we've all been everywhere. Phil, a few more things for you. you know, you touched the part of helping the community out a few times here. And it seems like it's really hold a big part of your heart to help the community. I know for a fact that you're helping the community on a weekly basis. You're almost giving as much hours to the community that you're giving, to the rest of your to your job. So, and when I say job, I mean your own business here. But you want to just give a little insight on that and why it holds such a big part of your heart to help the community and give back to others.
Yeah, I mentioned a few things earlier in the podcast. Like I said, I've lived an absolute blessed life. Lived very minimal hardships. When you look around the world, like I think just in general, being in Canada is such a blessing because we've never had a taste of war. We've never had much taste of violence. We've and I'll speak for myself. I've eaten pretty much every day of my life, which again is a blessing. On a I guess I'm diving into a different subject, but on a spiritual level, there's a lot that goes in, a lot of reflection that goes into how blessed you are, and I do believe in some form of karma. And I think that at the end of the day, if you have such good karma going for you, you can understand that there's an opposite to your good karma. There's a negative karma going on. And I just think that if I truly know that I'm blessed and I'm able to make a difference, then that's what I need to do. Like, I was sent here for a reason. A lot of people question themselves all their lives, and why are we here? What am I supposed to do? Well, this is an impulse that is important to me to follow, and it's something that I've followed for a few years now. And it's just regularly giving back to the community, because you never know when maybe one day you'll have a hardship and you might need some extra help. So again, I don't do it to receive anything. I just do it because I truly think it's important. There's a lot of people that don't get that opportunity, but that's essentially why I do it, and it's been very rewarding spiritually, and just happy to be able to help.
Phil, that's some very good stuff there that you hit there, man. Honestly, sorry, man. I thought our podcast stopped recording there. I paused for a second there. Phil, it's been great to have you, man. I don't want to try to keep you here for too long. If you still have some time, we have a few more questions. But before anything, I want to know, is there anything you want to say that we don't miss? We want to make sure that if you have anything to say, the time,
I think again, it just comes back to the education, and this goes for anything in life. I'm a huge advocate of continual growth, and I think sometimes I do more personal development for myself that's not involved in the kitchen, that involves reading, and involves listening to podcasts, it involves getting educated on different subjects. It's just so crucial. A lot of us stop reading, stop learning after we finish college, university, high school, whatever education you have. I just think it's so crucial. I'm going to name off a few of my personal favorite books that have tremendously helped me through the years. Some of them, one of them I've read over 14 times because to me, it's just such an important scripture. It's such we spend so many thousands of dollars on going to school, and then what, we stop? And that's the thing, is like, you have at your fingertips, on the internet, on YouTube, we have so much information to learn from, but we'll spend thousands of dollars on university, thousands of dollars on college, but we're not willing to buy a $40 book that has someone's entire life experience in it. it blows my mind that, you know, we have this at our fingertips. We have people telling us what to avoid and how to do certain things to avoid the time lost that they had to go through. So just to go through a few books, you've got Think and Grow Rich. That's definitely my number one book. Forever will be my number one book.
Who's the author on that?
It's Napoleon Hill. So he spent a large portion of his life following millionaires at the time. I might be wrong, but I think it was in the 1929s or 1930s. And he just followed millionaires. That's all he did for I think 25 years. He just followed millionaires and got the best insight. And he wrote a book about those 25 years. Amazing book. I can't recommend it enough. You got other more recent books, you know, from my someone that I look up to tremendously, David Goggins. He's a ex-military. Again, I'm not much of a person that believes in war or any of that, but his mindset, where he comes from, and what obstacles he's surmounted is mind-blowing. So you've got two books from him. You've got Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and his newest book, which I think I liked even more, which is entitled Never Finished by David Goggins. You can listen to him podcasts. So a lot of people tell me, on audio books. A lot of people tell me, oh, I can't read. I don't have the attention to read. Guys, there's so many options to learn. Don't limit yourself to books. You can listen to the books. You can go and listen to this podcast. He's been on Joe Rogan a few times, and it's just so insightful to hear what he has to say. Other than that, there's so many good books. Those are the three that I'd recommend. How to Win Friends and Influence People is another really good one. The Millionaire Next Door, if you're going to talk about financials. We were talking about financials again as a young cook, as a young chef. It was so instrumental in my life to be able to read these books, to be able to save money for my future, and really put what was the most important to me at the time. I wanted to buy a house, so I didn't know how I would do that on such a limited income. But you find ways of budgeting and all this, and that's why personal growth, I mean, yes, cooking is one thing, but there's so much more to life. And if you're able to enhance your own personal life, you have more energy and more passion to give to the things that do matter, like your family, like putting delicious or well-plated food or both on to a plate. So guys, never stop learning. It's my personal, the one advice I have for everyone, cook or not, it doesn't matter.
That's beautiful, Phil. Honestly, couldn't be more grateful for you to be here and share your insight onto this, share your knowledge. Everybody, I'm sure, guys, we're still learning every day. I'm still learning, and I think that's why, I'm here on the podcast with you. I just want you guys to be able to learn, and we can grow together, have a great adventure learning. And we're lucky enough to have special guests like today we had Phil. Hopefully we have a few other special guests coming on soon. I have a few buddies coming on that we've been through the industry as well. So guys, always be on the lookout. Follow us on Finger Licking Podcast. Also go give a follow to Chef Phil over here. Look at what he's doing. You guys are going to be pretty amazed to his pictures. His food looks phenomenal. You're going to be hungry even if you're not hungry. You can go eat supper and then look at his food and tell me you're not hungry.
It's finger licking.
There it is, guys. You got it here first. It's on Finger Licking Podcast. Hey, guys. Before we sign off here, I always like to give my guests a little special time to themselves where they can, give a conclusion, give a little word. Phil, any last words for the guys? Any last words for the podcast and the ladies out there and everybody watching today, or what time it is, wherever?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I just want to say it was an absolute pleasure to be on the podcast. Thank you so much for having me. To you at home, I hope to one day be able to share my love and passion and serve you some delicious food. for the upcoming rock stars and superstars of our industry, cooks, young chefs, dishwashers, whoever, waiters, whoever you are, thank you. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. Keep working hard. If you need anything, I'm always available to talk, or I'll try to make myself available to talk. I'm super excited to see where you go with this. I can't wait to look at this segment in 5 years from now and seeing your numbers grow. And I'm really proud of you, buddy. I'm very proud to be the first one on your show. And anytime you want me to come back, it'll be my absolute pleasure to be back. So thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thanks, man. It's been an honor to have you on here today, Phil. Honestly, you've been one of my good buddies for a long time. You're close to my family now for the rest of my life. So, in a way, I know you're gonna always take care of my back, watch my family, make sure my kids are good. So, you have a deep spot in my heart too. So, it's been an honor to have you today. And quite honestly, I'm so glad that you were here, and your words are very touching to me. So thank you very much. This has been quite a journey to start. It's been an adventure to start, and it's been fun to have Phil you here today as my first guest. It's gonna be something pretty cool to watch and re-edit and have fun putting out there for you guys. This is going to be pretty raw and pretty live for you guys. You guys are going to think it's pretty funny, have fun. There's a few spots where we have a few giggles, few laughs. And you know what? It's just live footage. This is what it is on live, on Finger Licking Podcast, guys. It's going to be live. It's going to be funny. It's going to be real stuff. We're not here to hide anything. We're not going to try to fluff anything up, and I'm going to be real about it, and anybody that wants to come on here, has something to say, please, reach out to me. You guys can reach out on Instagram, Facebook. You can reach out to me personally on my email, which are all linked to my to this podcast. So you know what, guys? Feel free, reach out to me. Phil's credentials are also going to be attached to this podcast. So just reach out, go check him out. He's a great buddy, great guy. He's doing great things for the community, which is rare nowadays. So when you see it, you got to take it and you got to appreciate it, because you know what? We got to stay strong in a community, and nowadays, the separation that happened during COVID between everybody is, I think we're still repairing the heartbreaks between the community. And I think, by food and drinks and laugh and just being together with family and friends is a great start. So, you know what, guys? Why not call Chef Phil over here? Get him in your house. And just have a great event, guys. And, don't worry about the food. He has a good saying, they leave the kitchen cleaner than it was. So, I'm just saying, there's no bad things. There's no such thing as saying it's a bad thing to hire somebody to come and cook food at your house. Just take a night, relax, enjoy it with your friends, have a good chef there. And I'm sure he'll make you guys all laugh and have a good time. Guys, it's been a pleasure to have this podcast today. It's been a lovely day. We've had fun. We've had good laughs, good content. And Phil, thank you again for coming out.
My pleasure.
It's been good. We'll have fun again. I'll get you out here again soon. Guys, if you have any questions for Phil, send them my way so we can bring him back. We'll ask him all your questions. And if you have any questions to ask me, send it to me. And I'll answer you the best I can. Again, thank you again for following Finger Licking Podcast. This is Chef Wayne and
Chef Phil Cameron.
And Chef Phil Cameron here. We're just out here having fun. And guys, thank you. Thank you. Give a follow, give a like, hit that notification button, because you know what? You don't want to miss anything, because I'm coming out with some new content on a weekly basis, and it's always going to be fun. There's going to be some Q&As coming. There's going to be a few things coming out that I don't want to spiel yet, because, until the data is done, until things are set in stone, I don't want to spiel anything to you guys. So just keep on the lookout, watch out, be there. And guys, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the love. And guess what? Have a good day.
This is Chef Phil Cameron on Finger Lickin' Podcast. Subscribe and like for more.